Hey guys, my name is Samuel Allotey. I'm a product designer and a Framer expert, and today I'm going to show you how you can create this portfolio website in Framer. I'll show you a few tricks and how you can use this new cursor feature that Framer just pushed out. Stick and stay. So this is how it's currently set up. I'm going to show you how you can do it from scratch. It's just a simple website. The main focus is the cursor feature, as I said earlier. So let's begin. So to begin, I have this new page. I'm just going to copy and paste the menu from the other design. And let's just create this from scratch. So we have a text here that says, "Guess who's back?" It's an Easter egg for anybody who listens to the Design Junkies podcast. And then we have a banner image. So it's pretty much simple. So let's just add the text here. Press T, the shortcuts for adding a text in Framer, and then just write what you want. So guess who's back, and that's it. Let me change the color to black so we can see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You can see when I try to move it, it stays in place. That's because I added a layout or a stack to it. So you can also do the same. By default, there will be no layout, so you can just come here, click on the plus, and the layout will be added. Right, so now next is to add the image. So the shortcut for adding an image is Shift I, and then you can just draw out your image. Great. So now let me just upload the image, the Design Junkies logo. Fantastic. Let me add the radius to the border. Let's just say 24. So now we want to push this image down. So I just need to put this two in a stack. The shortcut for adding it in a stack is Option Command Enter for Mac. I think on Windows it's Command Alt Enter. So once we add it, then we'll let the width fill the space available. We'll sort out the width of the image shortly. And then we can just say, let the heights also fit content. Fantastic. And then we come back to the main frame, the desktop frame, and then we'll say we want the height to fit content. So the height hugs whatever content is in it. So I'm changing it here, and then that's pretty much it. Yeah, so now let's sort out the padding around this frame, because I want it to be something like this, right? So let me just cross check the padding around here. It's 80, so we can do same. So let's just say 80 around for the stats, and I'm just going to remove the padding at the bottom and put it at 0. Fantastic. So now I need to sort out the roundness at the bottom of the image, so it feels like it's coming from the bottom of this frame. So we come here, go to the radius section and click on this second option here. Then you can set individual roundness for each corner of the image. So let's just say 24 for the top left, 24 for the top right. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Now I want the gap between the text and the image to be the same as we have here. So here is 80. So I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. Change it to, by default, Framer adds a gap of 10 to any new stack you create, so you can just update it and say 80. And let me just add an emoji. Okay, and let me change the weight to regular. Was it regular? Let's confirm. Okay, I think this is medium. Let's just make it that way. Actually, let me show you one trick. So to copy a style from one text to another text in Framer, it's basically, if you know how to use Figma, a lot of your Figma knowledge will come in here. So it's basically the same as Figma. It's Option Command C, and then you come to what you want to paste it in and say Option Command V, and then you paste it. So that's like one shortcut to learn. Okay, now our header section is sorted. So now we just basically have to do the projects section, and that is where we'll implement the cursor effect. So let me just duplicate this one and just rename this projects. I'm going to copy the style of the projects and paste it on this. Change the color to black, and I'm going to align it to the left. So to do that, you click on the stack, and then you come to the align section in the properties panel and click on the first one, and that should be sorted. I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to remove the image. Let me add padding of 80 to the bottom as well. And yeah, you know what, let me change this thing to black so we can have it the same as the other one, and then change the text to white. Great. So now we have this list of projects, right? It can be anything, you can name it as anything. I use the sub-brands under the Design Junkie. So we have Junkie Talks, Junkyard, Veslav, and the Fit Conference. Right, so I'm going to copy the style, Junkie Talks, paste it here, change the name, Junkie Talks, and basically duplicate them and change the name to the respective one. So there's Junkyard and Veslav. And there's a Fit Conference. Fantastic. So next one is to add a type of project it is. So Junkie Talk is a podcast, Junkyard is a resource hub, and so on. So we need to also add that as well. So let me just duplicate this and say podcasts. All right, and let me just copy the style of this and paste it here. Great. So now, how do we let it be in line like we have it here? So let it be horizontal or next to each other. So to do that, we have to put it in a stack, Command, Option, Enter. Let the stack fill the width available and align it to the left. And now I want to change the direction from vertical to horizontal. So you come to the properties panel and click on the arrow that's pointing in the horizontal direction. So yeah, we have that. I'm going to let the height of this frame fit content. And yeah, I'm going to let the distribution start from the beginning. So it's currently starting from the center. So as you can see, it's center aligned. So you let it start from the beginning, and that's pretty much it for this one. So now let's space it out a bit. We can say 16 for this, or let me just check what I used here. Okay, I used 32. 32. And then I'm going to let this fill out the rest of the space available. Okay, so we are pretty much going to do the same, but there's one thing left for this section. So there's a faint border beneath each project name. So we need to also add that. Let me check. Okay, 64 at the top, 40 at the bottom. So we need to increase the padding around. So it's 64 at the top and 40 at the bottom. So once we add that, then we can add the border color. So you come to the properties panel, go to the style section, you see a field for border, you click on add, and then that's pretty much it. By default, it will create a border for, let me increase change the color. By default, it will create border all around your frame. So to put it for just the bottom bit, we select the frame, go to the part that says width, and click on the box that says box per side, and then you change everything to 0 except the bottom. Leave that as 1. Great. So that's how you get this. And I need to change the color to match this one. So let me just pick the color code here. Okay, actually use white, 20% opacity. So we do same here, change it to white. Use a 20% opacity. And yeah, we are sorted. So now let me just duplicate this and paste this in there. Veslav, Fit Conference. Okay, so Junkie Talks is a podcast, Junkyard is a resource hub, Veslav is a design studio, Fit conference and events. Great. So now let's just play and see how it looks. Okay, so I think we are on the right course. Let's go back and cross check with the original one. Let's check the pattern around it. It's 120 around with a gap of 40. So let's do same 120. And yeah, I think this is also in its own stack. So let's select all the projects, put them in their own stack, change the height to fit content, and leave the gap to 0 so it feels more balanced. And let me change the gap for the parents one to 40. Fantastic. So yeah, I think we're pretty much done for this section. Just one more thing, which is the arrow icon that is here. So that indicates that it's a link, so you need to add that as well. So to add an icon in Framer has a lot of built-in things you can use. You have a lot of built-in libraries. So the icon sets I usually go with is Force 4. So this, but they also have other icon sets. So you just need to search for icon, come to inserts at the top, search for icon, and then you see a bunch of different icon packs. But I'm going to go with Force 4. I just drag it, drop it in here, change the name of the icon to arrow left. If you are struggling to know, they have 2 tabs on how to select icons. So there's a drop down when you select the list tab, but you can also search for the name of the icon if you know the icon's name. But if you don't know what icon to search for in the drop down, you can just click on this link that says the Force 4 site. It will take you to their website, and then you can find the icon and then paste the name here. Let me actually change this to icon left, and let me change the color to white and change the weight to bold. Great, so now I'm just going to copy it and place it everywhere. Okay, I mean, we're looking good on this one. So now it's time to create the next section, which I believe is the about. It's a simple text section, nothing too fancy. So for that, I'm going to skip that and I'm going to leave it to you to recreate it. There'll be a link to this project file in the description, so you can just pick it and follow along. So I'm just going to pick this one, paste it here, and pick the awards and recognition section, and also paste it here. Fantastic. So let's play and see how it looks. So yeah, we have our hero section, we have our projects section, we have our about us, and we have an awards and recognition section. So yeah, this is like a pretty much a very basic portfolio template, you can see. And so you can use it for your portfolio if you have one, or if you don't have one. So the next one, to the main event, let me play this one and show you how to go about it. So the main event is how to implement this cursor effect, where anytime you hover over a project, the featured image of that project will display, and then yeah, your user can see it. So let's do that. So the first thing is to create a component of the image you want to see hover on each project. So let's start with that. I'm going to create an image. A shortcut for that is Shift-I. Just create an image. Let me check the dimensions real quick. 691, 610. Okay, so now I just need to add the image. Let me start with Junkie Talks. Okay, so now I need to create a component. So the shortcut to creating a component is Command Option K, and I'll name it as cursor. Fantastic. Okay, let me go in here and rename this variant to Junkie Talks. So now I basically need to create different variants for the different projects that we have. So this one is going to be for Junkie Talks. We have Junkie Adverse Laugh and Fit Conference. So create those variants, change the image to this one to junkyard, create another one, change that to Verslav, create the last one and change it to the Fed. Okay, we don't have a logo for the Fed conference yet, so I'm just going to come up with something real quick. So I change from image to a solid color. So to do that, there are multiple options here. So there's the gradients here. There's a different form of gradients here. Basically three gradients. Is this one called cone? I don't know. You can tell me in the comment section. But this is the solid color that I want. I'm going to change it to this shade of blue. And I'm just going to write in a text and say fit. Center it. Change the weight. Semi-bold. And that's pretty much it. Okay, so now we have the images set up. So we just need to map it to the projects. So for that to happen, you select each project. You come to the properties panel and you see this new section added just yesterday as at the time of this recording. It's called cursor. Click on it and select custom cursor. There's an option to select different web cursor. This was the default one. You can explore it in your own time, but we are going for this tutorial, we are going with the custom cursor. And then to bring up this modal where you select a component. I think I already have another component, so let me just rename this to cursor 2. Cursor number 2. Okay, and then we can select that one. So yeah, for this one I want it to be Junkie Talks, and you can see two options: follow and replace. So replace basically will replace this cursor you see here with whatever you choose as your custom cursor, but follow will basically follow whatever it is you set as a cursor, to follow your default web cursor. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to select bottom and I'm going to leave it as it. Let me just check the other one to see the settings I used so we can speed up. Okay, 20 on the side. So align it to the left and keep it as 20, and then we can add a transition, a spring. So let's prototype it, or let's preview it real quick and see how it looks. So you can see by default it's using the standard web cursor, but once you hit the Junkie Talks project, it brings up this image of Junkie Talks. So I mean, you can play around with it. There are so many possibilities of what you can do with this one. Okay, so now let's do same. Let me okay, so now let's do same. So the beautiful thing about Framer is you can copy and paste basically any of these effects or styles in the properties panel. So I just copy the custom cursor here, select all these different projects, and I'll come to the cursor section and I'll just say paste. That's it. So now all I need to do is just change the component to the right variant. So I'll just say use this variant 2. Let me go name it so we can know exactly what we are doing. So this variant is junkyard. This variant is Verslav. This variant is fit. Yeah, so junkyard here, say Verslav here, and I'll say fit conference. So let's preview it real quick. So yeah, that's essentially all you need to know about this new feature. All right, but let's just make a few tweaks to make this much more smooth. So to do that, we need to go to the transition, and because we basically added the same cursor effect to all the projects, you can select all of them at the same time and make the updates, and then it will reflect. So I want to slow it down a bit. So to do that, I increase the damping, and the movements of the cursor will slow. So yeah, that's essentially it. Let me just round the images so it matches the other one. Round it to 24. Play. And then yeah. So on verse love it changes, fade it changes, and basically that's it. So yeah, that's essentially it for this tutorial. This was a quick and easy one. There's one more advanced thing that I did on this one that I won't go into on this tutorial, which is this fixed footer. For that one, I'll go into a more detailed tutorial on the Design Junkies channel, so you guys can subscribe to this channel and subscribe to the other channel as well. And yeah, I'll drop it in the coming weeks. So that's it, guys. Peace.